In this training video, I will demonstrate how to build selling maps for the new Indy software using the selling maps that are in the Family Leisure of Kansas City data files as a template. To sign on to the new software, the user ID is NEWS. The password is NEWS1234. NEWS stands for new software. Take option 2 to go to the inventory and warehouse menu. And if you page down, you're going to see option 100, build selling maps from the KC files. That's the option that I want to demonstrate. When you get to the first screen, you can select a major department to only see the selling maps for that particular major department, or if you leave it blank, as it says on the screen, it'll display all selling maps. As you notice that above ground pools is the first one because that's major department 01, which is above ground pools. And if you page down below that, you're going to see that spas is the next one. So if I only want to maintain spas on the previous screen, I could put in 27. And it would only bring up the spas, the selling maps for the spas. Or if I put in 01, it's only going to bring up the selling maps for the above ground pools. Notice at the top the company name. This is Family Leisure of Kansas City. And this particular program is option 78. It's the same program as option 78 on your inventory menu that you'll be using to maintain your selling maps for the Family Leisure of Indianapolis files once you get these converted to selling maps for that program, for that data files. So you'll notice in the upper left corner you have 2 equals change, 3 equals copy, 4 equals delete, and 6 equals print. You wouldn't necessarily want to delete or copy or print, but option 2 would be helpful in the Kansas City files if you want to just see what the structure is of their selling map. In this case, this particular 18-foot by 52-inch Mirage pool, which their SKU is for that pool is SKU number 1705. So if I want to see what's in that selling map, I can do a 2 to change, and then I could do a 2 to change to look at or change the liners that they've selected. There's the title to that frame, and then if I press F1, I can see all the SKUs. Again, these are Kansas City SKUs, not necessarily the Indy SKUs, but you can see the description. These are the particular liners that they have available for that 18 by 52 inch, 18-foot by 52-inch Mirage pool. So I can look at any of the particular frames and see what SKUs they have in that particular frame. That's what option 2 would allow me to do, to be able to see what's in a particular. So this is the same maintenance program. Again, I'm reiterating, as you will be using for maintaining the Indy selling maps once you get these converted. At the top, you're going to notice it says in yellow is converted. Once I have converted a selling map, that'll appear here in the color yellow. That's to help you keep track of the ones that you have converted. You do not necessarily have to convert every selling map. Just pick the ones that you want to convert. And if I page down, I'm going to see one in red here, which at the top you notice it says inactive SKU. What that means is that the Kansas City SKU 11062 for a 33-foot by 54-inch Burbank standard skimmer SKU, that standard skimmer package, or I'm sorry, selling map, that SKU 11062 in the Kansas City files is inactive. Just because it's inactive does not mean that you cannot convert that to a Family Leisure Indianapolis store. So you can still, even though they're showing inactive on the Kansas City files, you could still convert that selling map. I'm going to do a demonstration of, if you notice in the upper left corner, I've added an option, a C, to convert the map. So I'm going to do a demonstration of converting SKU number 1705, an 18-foot by 52 Mirage pool. So I place a C on that line, and you'll notice at the bottom it says, gives me an error message saying SKU number conversions are needed to convert this selling map. F5 equals enter conversions. If I press an F5, the program is going to bring up all of the SKUs that are used in all of the frames of this particular selling map for the Kansas City selling map, or SKU rather, 1705, which is an 18-foot by 52 Mirage pool. And as you notice, I've already filled in some of the Indy SKUs. So you can see there I've already got a conversion. 1705 converts to the Indy SKU number 11308, and the white description is the description of the Indy pool that matches that. You need to review the ones that I've already entered to make sure I haven't selected a wrong SKU, but as you can see, some of them are selected. In order to convert this selling map, all of the SKUs will need an Indy cross-reference SKU number. And these build in a file, and once you have entered a cross-reference, say for example, like if it contains this number 10 DIY installation, you'll no longer get that message that you need that SKU converted. It'll store these. So as you convert more and more selling maps, more and more of the SKUs will already have the Indy cross-reference in them. In order to find an Indy SKU, if you don't know it, you can go to that line. In this case, the Kansas City SKU number is 16324 for a Blue Liner 2000. I can hit an F4 to do the search, and now we're searching the Indy files at this point. And I can put in the search words and press enter. And in this case, it did not find anything such as that. So if I just narrow down my search, and I've got some different SKUs that I could select. If I happen to select a SKU, then it's going to fill that in. And if you get the description over here and you realize that's the wrong one, you can blank it out and it removes that conversion. So again, you need to fill in all of the conversion SKUs that you need. If there's a particular SKU on here that you don't have in the Indy system already, you could I would recommend bringing up another screen side by side with this screen, and you can see what the SKU is. In this particular case, 980000. That says turnkey package, deliver pool and get sand. I'm going to take a little detour here, get out of this program, and show you where you would find what that SKU is about in the Kansas City files. So I'm just going to do an F3 to exit out of those two programs. If I go into SKU 102, option 102 on the inventory menu, I can do a display, an option 5, the master info information for 980000. And I'll see that that is an information only SKU, not a package SKU. And it's a turnkey package that they have on their selling map that we was looking at for SKU 1705. That particular information only SKU is a deliver pool and get sand. If you don't have a SKU like that in the Indy, but you want to create one, you could create it and then enter the cross-reference SKU number. It does not necessarily have to be 980000. It can be any number that you want it to be. But if you, this is a way that you can look at this SKU inquiry. And again, I would recommend having multiple sessions up so you don't have to get out of option 100 to look at the SKUs that are in that particular selling map. So once you fill in all of the Indy SKUs for this selling map for SKU number 1705, an 18-foot by 52-inch Mirage pool, then once you return, you get all those filled in and return back to this screen. If you press enter with the C still there, if all of the SKUs that are needed for that particular selling map have cross references, the system will automatically then create the create the selling map in the Indy files, and you'll get that particular line will be turned in the color yellow, and at the bottom you'll see a message that it was successfully converted. And you repeat that process for all of the selling maps that you want to convert. If I do an F3 out of this, one more thing I want to show you that I showed in the overview training video. Option 104 is the full file of all of the cross-reference SKUs that have been entered. These don't necessarily have to be entered here, but this is where you would maintain them if by chance you had the wrong. And you'll see the ones that are filled in, see that 1705 was this main selling map that we just was trying to convert. It has an Indy SKU of 11308, which you can see is an 18 by 52-inch Mirage. Your description's a little different in the Indy system, but it's the cross-reference for that particular one. So when we would convert that selling map, it would be under the SKU number, main SKU number 11308. So this program, number 104, is just so that you can maintain or look at the SKUs that have already been entered as cross-references. Again, this program is not necessarily needed unless you've got one particular cross-reference that you've entered and you've entered the wrong SKU or need to create a new SKU and enter it. This concludes the training video for building selling maps from the Kansas City files.